What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at DataDash, and today is January 25th of 2021. Well, folks, I hope you are having a fantastic day wherever you are, and in today's video, I want to spend some time to dive straight in to one of my top cryptocurrency picks that I think not only has the chance to 4x in the month of February, but along with that as well is one of my largest positions in the cryptocurrency space and has one of the strongest fundamental narratives when it comes to cryptocurrencies. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and dive straight into it. The token we're going to be talking about today is the Uniswap token, or the UNI token. Now, many of you have probably heard me talk about Uniswap before, whether on a fundamental basis in the sense of its technology and what it offers, or possibly on the token itself, as I do think it's going to be one of the strongest DeFi plays in the long run going forward throughout 2021 and 2022. Now, to go ahead and just start off here, guys, we've not only been talking about the UNI token for some time here on the channel, but we also wrote about it as far back as November and December in the Dash report here, as we built most of our positions down here around the $3.50 range, generally in this kind of sideways consolidation range. And then also, again, not only took some profits as we were worried about the market possibly pulling back with Bitcoin, but buying in slightly higher here in this case, coming back into prices here in mid-January and riding the vast majority of this wave with the same initial position. Now, I want to go ahead and dive first before we dive into the technical price action as to what Uniswap actually does. I think it's a very kind of problematic in this space that a lot of people are just focusing on one token to another, and they're putting sizable amounts of capital into projects that they don't really know the fundamentals of or really see why they're valuable at the end of the day. Well, one of those protocols that I can confidently say without a doubt is one of the most valuable in the DeFi space, the most proven projects, and also along with that as well actually services a real need, is Uniswap. It's providing an actual reputable decentralized exchange protocol that allows people to make swaps without permission from anyone else, basically permissionless swaps, and being able to do so at relatively low fees, and also outside of that as well, never having downtime. This is a very, very critical thing that I think Uniswap has a big benefit of. So if you're trading sizable volume, if you can deal with the hiccups like network fees that can cost users when they're interacting on chain, Uniswap is a really great tool. First off, here we can see that there's a lot of fundamental statistics here. The liquidity of Uniswap has broken back up to all-time highs here without any liquidity farming in this case. And along with that as well, if we take a look at the volume here on a weekly basis, of course, we've started off the new week here yesterday. We're back to the highs, passing the highs we had back in August of this past summer. Over $5 billion in weekly volume here that we've seen consecutively for 3 weeks here, as optimism has returned to the broader altcoin space and as trust has come back into the Uniswap protocol as people are starting to trade autonomously here on this system. And the crazy thing is that Uniswap's architecture is extremely simple. It's a smart contract on the Ethereum blockchain that you're interacting with when you're swapping. There's no centralized exchange. There's no KYC that a user has to do. It's extremely intuitive and simple and easy to interact with. And the great thing above all as well, as I emphasized earlier, is that it's never down. We've seen a lot of reputable exchanges, a lot of great companies in the space, companies like Coinbase, companies like Binance, a lot of great companies out there that have built great products and services to get people into crypto, having constant downtime on their infrastructure. And being built on top of a protocol like Ethereum, where it's simple if this then that scenarios when you're interacting with contracts, then in this case, you're able to make a great swapping machine that's never down. You can swap from one crypto to another very seamlessly. And this is why we've been so bullish on Uniswap as a cryptocurrency. Now, I want to go ahead, as we talked about earlier, this is generally the kind of technical pattern we were watching for here. We had this written down in the newsletter. We got the breakout against this consolidation range, which again was facing resistance at a previous point of support back here in the past that was broken down back in October. And now we've gotten above there. We generally made it support here off the rebound. We didn't even come down to touch that range because buyers were looking to come in on that dip, and they bought it up. And the volume here as well as the price action has been astronomical if you're looking across the board. And again, even though there's been a bit of a pullback here today, we can still see here if we dive into the 5-minute chart, people are coming back in. The buy side candles are equalizing with these sell side candles and outpacing a lot of the downward price movement. Again, you can start to see any of the major candles that are showcasing here are big buy side candles coming in to prepare for a larger move in UNI. So I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about why I personally believe that we're going to have more than a 4x here in UNI going into the later part of February. And just to provide some context here, guys, that means that we think UNI is going to $50 here. Now, why do I think that Uniswap could go to $50? Well, fundamentally here, we can obviously see the fundamentals are strong here. The volume being processed through Uniswap, the fees being collected by liquidity providers, as well as the overall liquidity being stored on the platform is getting back to new all-time highs. And it's going to continue to fundamentally grow as there's more people using Uniswap and as the broader altcoin space gets more optimistic. But it's also a topic here as well about the technical price action. And considering that within this cycle, much like the previous cycles, valuation ranges that seem astronomically high are really just a bump in the road in the broad scheme of things. We have to get ourselves in the context of understanding that this cycle is going to see valuations at much higher ranges when we're talking about market cap than we previously have seen in the previous cycles. So let's go ahead here and just take a look here at market capitalization. I think this is a very important thing because people are going to wonder, okay, Nick, what is it going to look like when you're talking about, Uniswap at these specific valuations? So if we're talking about Uniswap going for more than a 4x here, almost in this case pushing towards a 5x if you wanted to rough it off to $10, right? We'd be talking about market capitalization here. At the current moment, we actually have a very nice kind of ability here from the actual dollar price here to kind of take it over to the fully diluted market cap. And broadly speaking, we'd be pushing very close here towards a $50 billion market cap for the fully diluted supply. So this is the inclusion of tokens that aren't even circulating, that can't be sold yet. And then also as well for the actual market capitalization here, pressing somewhere here above 12 to $13 billion, right? So again, in this case, really not that far out. I know it sounds like a lot of money here, guys, but the key thing to understand is that market caps are always exacerbated at their highs. There's never really $13 billion of uni worth of uni to sell at that point, because the moment people start selling, it drops market capitalization, and a lot of those peak valuations, in this case, tend to fall off quite quickly. As with euphoric run-ups, we tend to get pretty sharp sell-offs in this case when we get to those peak euphoric highs. So what we want to do is position ourselves here where we're buying at these lower ranges here, these discount ranges, and anticipate when we're going to get towards those euphoric highs. And I really think that if we take a look here on the dollar chart here, going forward on the logarithmic means, this really isn't that crazy to think that Uniswap would have a nice steady uptrend here towards somewhere around $50. And if we take a look at the Bitcoin chart here, what this is generally calling for is for a little over a 4x here against Bitcoin in the sense of price performance. Now, first off, we have to, above all, before we even talk about charting to new highs against Bitcoin, we have to revisit the all-time highs for Uni back here set in September of 2020, which we're not even there yet. Again, emphasizing a key point here, guys, that I'm going to continue to drill on here in this video, that we're in the early stages of the altcoin cycle. That's the critical thing to keep in mind. So again, don't get caught up in, I didn't buy it down here, I didn't get it this range. Guys, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. So long as you're still having price potential in the future, you want to be able to make sure you can position yourself to ride that wave. Now, I'm going to go ahead here, just kind of shrink the chart here. But again, you can see here, broadly speaking, that what we're hoping for is that sometime in mid-February, we're breaking above those Bitcoin all-time highs. We've more than doubled against Bitcoin for Uni over the next coming weeks. And then after that, we're really going to get into that euphoric rally, right? We're going to be able, in this case, hopefully, to come up here, make support on that previous resistance, and then just start an absolutely vertical rally here in price. And what that's basically saying, again, just to put some context here, is that we're going to double from the previous all-time highs against Bitcoin. I mean, guys, if you remember the last altcoin cycle, what kind of valuation increases we had, what kind of multiples we had in price, this is a grain of salt compared to what we've seen in the past, and a doubling of the previous all-time highs in Uni set back during the later part of the summer, or really for Uni in this case, in the early part of the fall, is really just a simple ask in this case in the sense of valuations and price. And again, we already talked about the fully diluted market cap. We're talking about crypto markets going towards much larger valuation ranges. Now, the other critical thing to keep in mind is not only the fact of, valuation ranges. I think this is a good chart you guys can look towards here. We wrote about this in the Dash report a while back. We've emphasized this point generally here on the channel that, for example, we went from around a couple tens of millions of dollars in valuation from the bottom of altcoin markets in November and October of 2015 all the way to January of 2018, going up to $500 billion at our peak. And now we're going from around $35 billion in valuation, hopefully up to around $5 trillion. And right now we're just at $353 billion in market cap for altcoins. We're not even above those all-time highs. So is it crazy to think that we could ask for something like this, for UNI to go to $50 per token? I really don't think it is. We haven't even seen institutional liquidity come into the altcoin space, coming into DeFi plays, as we've been seeing a lot of fundamental growth and development. We've still got a ways to go here. Now, there's some other things to keep in mind as well when we're talking about UNI realistically being able to get to this range. So first off here, right now, Chainlink at the moment is leading at $10 billion in valuation for its circulating market cap in this case. And UNI is down here. It's already leaped up. It's past Aave, Synthetics, a ton of different plays across the market to come up here. And really, it's technically second place if you exclude wrapped Bitcoin, which is just a tokenized version of Bitcoin. You can see here that we're nearing, in this case, about 1/3 of what Chainlink is. So as Chainlink continues to grow, as valuations continue to expand, I think that UNI, again, could easily maintain this 1/3 peg here, possibly even outpacing the growth of Chainlink here over the next coming days. And along with this as well, we've also got Ethereum here, or Ether, breaking to its all-time highs. We just last night officially set a substantial move higher from the all-time highs for Ethereum, rallying towards $1,476. Now we started to pull back here a little bit, right? But again, as Ether, broadly speaking, starts to go up, and we'll go ahead and turn off our drawings here, just keep things simple. Once we get past these all-time highs and really start charting up higher here, right? We have to keep in mind that what we've seen here in the past is just a bump in the road. The valuations are just starting to kick off here. And we've seen, broadly speaking, that the trend here over the last 7 days is clear in altcoins, right? There's very few plays down here in the red. The vast majority of cryptocurrencies here registering double-digit moves here for the last 7 days. And again, with Ethereum starting to break these all-time highs, it makes total sense, right? So anyways, again, we've got a lot of different metrics here that we can keep in mind when it comes to the overall market. But again, just to visualize it a bit better here, because I know we were looking at the logarithmic chart, I want to show you guys the overall chart here for total market capitalization excluding Bitcoin, basically altcoin market cap. We're right here at 363 billion. The peak here, 545 billion. And now is the time here where we get to sit back and really think, okay, what plays here in the market are actually garnishing fundamental value, that are providing fundamental utility for the crypto space. And it's no question as to why UNI is so high on the list of DeFi tokens. The reason why I want to spend some time, I wanted to spend some time today talking about it and explain why it's one of my largest positions here in the market. Right? I could be positioned in a ton of different things, guys. I could, try to promote just random small caps, this and that. I think a lot of people like to do that because it gives them possibly, as a content creator, the most price potential. I'm here to talk about fundamental plays, and you'll always get that from you guys. And I'm going to be honest, when I'm positioned in certain plays, it's one of my largest plays in the crypto space. But there's a reason we've been talking about it since it was $3 per token, and we're not just talking about it now as it's at $11 per token. This thing has got a lot of potential here in the market. We've got a lot of growth opportunity for UNI and a lot of other DeFi tokens in the market. So it's a matter of building those positions now, not worrying about getting them at the absolute dip, and being able to ride that momentum wave that's going through the market right now. I can tell you all, we've still got a ways to go here. And I'm excited to be on this journey with you all as we continue to see cryptocurrency markets grow more and more into an established asset class. Alrighty, everyone, that's it for today's video. If you guys like this video, please consider dropping a like and consider subscribing as always. If you've got something to say about this, if you agree or disagree with me, leave a comment down below in the comments section. I always appreciate hearing from you guys. I can't get to everyone's comments, but I always love getting to hear from you guys and get a discussion going. Feel free to engage with one another. That being said, everyone, I hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you are, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone.